Hello there everyone and welcome back. It has been some time, but I think I am ready to design myself a new ship here. Particularly one that's gonna prepare me for basically the dragon and the Krynn there who have their defenses more emphasized towards energy shields. So I think this is a really good opportunity to make something brand new, something more to help deal with that little adversary I'm gonna have later on down the road. Because the Krynn are definitely getting hostile really fast, and the Dragon are gonna be a threat pretty soon there. So, what better opportunity to make something new? Although, sadly, it seems like the Pulverizer was doing so well. It's almost like my go-to at this point. Even though originally the ship was designed just to be a siege breaker, just mainly to be as efficient as possible destroying star bases and shipyards, and not only did we get that there, this thing is tremendously effective against the assailants as well there. Even though like some of its defenses is just lacking for most of those fights, it still has the raw firepower to deal with it. And I just love this design. I love the look of it. Sure, it has some imperfections there, like I would love to make the can smaller, but no. Let's make something new to kind of like stretch the imagination a little bit. And what I have in mind is going to be such a nice treat for me, because I am planning to make the spiritual successor to the Hornet, which is a ship design I made from Stardrive 2. So let me try to explain it a little bit there as I somehow haphazardly get the design start there, because what the Hornet originally was is basically one of my very first ship designs that I made. It was a standard like combat ship there, just with very slight adjustments to like the classic variant. Heck, that was even called the Hornet there. So what is I'm trying to explain this and I have no idea where to start because my mind's elsewhere. So basically, yeah, it was a classic ship there. I have fond memories for it because it was like my go-to ship. It was just all around effective, useful, and even had the most basic weaponry. It just used its mobility and the fact the battles were real time, so with its mobility you just got tremendous value out of that thing. And I got them like mass produced too, so they were invaluable to me, being a more cheaper ship than rather than top of the line type of ship. And I'm hoping to reproduce that now. With that said, how the hell am I gonna reproduce that ship like that, I wonder? Cause I do got a bit of work cut out for me. Cause, let's see, what I would like to do is kind of like make it seem more sleek design. It's not gonna be true to how the original Hornet looked, but it's going to at least look mobile and nimble, and hopefully with access to the railguns there I can use that to kind of get it going. Although I'm trying to start on the nose there, and that may have been a mistake because I have no idea how to start with this. So I think we'll just bite the bullet and start with the middle. See if we can make this like a nice... Is there any way to just make this decent width? Well, not with the y-axis. Let's try and correct this. I want this to have some decent width to it. Maybe a little more narrower, and we'll start from there. Only problem is though, I need a component that can like narrow it down as we get to the front. That's my only real issue I'm gonna have with this, if it's gonna work. And also I need to be careful about stretching it too much too. So we'll try and keep this simple. And like I said, how the hell am I gonna turn this into like a narrower component? I suppose the best way to start is to just get like a narrow point just as a start off area. So what would be good? Just, is there some kind of like nose piece that I can grab? Probably a cockpit more than likely. Actually, let me just change the type there. Something that's a cockpit that will work. Cause maybe this could work. It has kind of the shape for it there. The only problem is I'll need to cover up that cockpit if it's going to be to my liking. That's the only thing. I'm just going to experiment with this idea a little bit first. See if I can make it work. Because textures are going to be a little bit out of whack, needless to say. So, we'll have to play with it a bit and see where we go from here. The metal frame could actually connect quite well, I gotta say, with the side there. So maybe we're on to something. The trick now is making sure it's flush. Look as flush as possible. And then we'll have to find some way to cover up that cockpit, because that's not really a cockpit piece I would like. Now, do I make this thing taller or wider? What's the best way to make that metal frame more flush? Because this actually is a good start. I just need to play around with it a bit. Oh, and moving that there completely messed things up for me, the positioning, so not the best start. Oh, and I probably need to move it forward too. Oh, damn it. Everything's connected together, so maybe this is not a good idea. I did not think this through properly, did I? But now that's in the middle, let's see if we can make this work. We'll need to wind it, of course. At the very least, if I can make it look like it's flushed together there, because you got this distinguishing texture pieces there, especially that front of the frame I dislike too. But I can make that work if I can somehow turn that into a vent. I just need everything else. I need that front frame to sink in a bit. There, that's a little bit better. Actually, can I just sink in a little bit more? Maybe get rid of that metal frame altogether. Is that a good idea? It's a decent start, I just need a lot more components to it. To kind of add like detail to it rather than just a single oversized piece of basically of a cockpit. But it's a good start. What would be ideal for a small piece though? Because that could do, but again, I had issues trying to figure out how to connect with it there. That's the only issue. Only thing I probably dislike if I'm going to go with this piece. Because I don't know how to make it flush. That's really all it is. It could be good for like detailing and such. Otherwise, heck, I may need to rotate it a tiny bit. Just to make it look accurate at least. And then we'll just make a copy. Huh. Oh. And apparently the metal frame there is, for some reason, didn't... Oh. I thought it went in there completely. Apparently not. It looks like it's just sticking out elsewhere, which might be a bit of an issue. I can kind of cheat with that though, can I? Just by using this thing to offset it down a bit. So let's see if that does it. Can this do it? Probably a dumb idea, quite frankly. Because it's going to be not the most ideal. And again, I need to make it look flush somehow. Although we could use that for like a weapon port again, kind of like everything else. That's the only thing I can think of unless I can do something with it. It's decent for now, and I'll actually try fixing that right now with like if I can get a really small piece in here. If I can shrink this down, although I'm trying to find the right spot to connect it. Alright, get our double. Gotta find the right one. There we go. Shrink it down. That's actually not too bad there. A little too big, mind you, but it actually seems decent for what. Whoop. There we go. That. Well, at least the good news is I can actually get the size I want. The bad news is it's completely off where I want it to be. So shrinking that down might be ideal. How small do I want to make it though? Because proportional scale is kind of a must to get rid of a lot of the set axes. And maybe, at least that may fix the original problem I had. Do I rotate it so that way this bottom piece sticks out some or not? Let me try rotating the other way. See if that works out better for it. It may entirely not be centered too. That could be an issue as well. But that helps a little bit there, and I can add some more to it. Now let's get to work on the bottom. Let's try and round it out a little bit. Can we do it with this piece? Because it's got a very similar shape to it. So I want to think it could do that. Again, I want to somehow cover up that like cockpit area though, ultimately. Because I don't think that's the cockpit piece I want. Now let's try and scale up, give it a proper scaling. You'll still need a little bit more. It sucks that it's so dark underneath. It makes it a little bit hard to see. Maybe there's some kind of lighting option maybe that helps with that. I'm not sure. And also need to offset some more. Because try to make it bigger and it does not work well. Come to think of it, do I make it more narrower? Whoops. I did it again. Messing it up before by trying to rush it a little bit. Let's see, do I shrink it? Would that be better for me? Because that could fit back there and I can just adjust the said scale until it connects with the piece there in the bottom. And that could be pretty decent. Just need a little bit of a filler piece otherwise. To kind of fill out any gaps that may be there, like, yeah, right now it needs to be, straight up needs to be wider. And of course the problem there becomes its textures start to get stretched some, although in the bottom it's not too bad. And that's actually pretty decent. Only complaint I have is maybe get that metal frame to kind of connect, be covered over a bit if I can help it. There, that looks a little better. And it actually does seem decent. Just get a couple components to fill out and we're good. So, starts coming along decently. I just don't have any idea how long I want to make this thing. Because using this as the entire length of the ship seems like cheating a little bit. I need to kind of have something a little more creative than that, right? Maybe? Nonetheless, let me just get some engines on here, just standards, this basic type engines I think. I don't want the ones with the multi-thrusters. I think I want some single engines, probably some decent ones. I could go with it, like the double engine thrusters here, but I think I'll put them more on the side. Now, do I want square thrusters? And if so, how many of them do I have? And apparently that's perfect middle, so I'm gonna need to adjust a little bit. I want 2 of them ideally. Can we go with more? Not without moving it, not with offsetting it. That seems decent. Again, do I want to put more to the ship first before connecting engines to it? Come to think of it, there we go. I was wondering how extra engines will look. Probably not the best, but hey, it will serve as a reference point at least to see if I want the quad engines on. Hey, how does it look when it's connected together? Not too shabby there. There is a tiny bit of overlap, but it actually will look pretty decent there as like main thrusters. Now, and I could just flip them around if I want there. How does it look when I flip it around? It almost looks like a different kind of engine altogether, so I like that idea too. The possibilities are nice anyway. So, I need to add some more to this ship. I think that's apparent, so we'll move these out of the way and try and add another bulkhead of some kind. I think this will have to be a little bit wider. The trick is, since all these are kind of square shape, more straightforward and flat, there's not like one that will just conveniently like slope outwards, so I need to think about this properly. About how I'm going to do this. First off, finding a proper connection point would be nice. So we'll delete that and try it again. I want to connect it right in the middle there this time. And we'll work from that, because I'm seeing the slope there on the front of this bulkhead, so I'm wondering if I can use that any. If I rotate it around, could that do? Because there is a bit of a slope. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Oh, and I'm again moving the wrong axis, go figure. Also, it's because of the fact that it's rotating now, so all the axes are a little bit different. So, we have that possibly in place to do something for me. Now, how do we fix this? Adjust in a way that it can be useful. Because that has potential there. It looks like some kind of exhaust or like power source, or it could be like bigger cannons. So there is potential with how it's sticking out anyway. But do I want to narrow that down? Oh, that's narrowing it down, but just not the way I had in mind. Let's see, shrunk down, offset it, get the offset figured out. That's actually pretty good. It's a bit of a slope. These almost look like they could be engines and compartments themselves now that I think of it. The only problem is this cockpit makes it look a lot smaller than it actually is. That's my big gripe, my big complaint. I need to cover over this and make it look good. That's my only real issue. Because let's try experimenting with engines here, shall we? Because let's shrink this down. That should probably look pretty decent for engines, if I'm gonna guess. Yeah, that's actually pretty good there. Again, it looks like a goddamn fighter. It does not look like a cruiser. So how do we make this thing look bigger and more formidable if I'm gonna follow through with this route? Or do I just add some more width to it? If I add width, probably need something that could connect to that piece, because if it's gonna connect, widen's gonna do it from here roughly. Because those pieces are doing a decent job winding it. Or actually, do I just adjust the scale? Oh, I'm just moving it. That's not what I want. So, let's try that again. That's X. Yeah, I'm gonna have to account for this off scale and see. And I'm doing it again, damn it. So, if we put it like that, does that look a little better? It looks like it could have a more potent engine, at least, if nothing else. So it's making ground. How's it look if I put them closer together, though, in the back? It connects. That's really all I got going for me. It seems like we're making ground, though. I just need to find a right scale and setup that I'm comfortable with, that I'm ideal with, or happy with, essentially. It's really all it comes down to. Because we got all these metal frames sticking out in awkward angles, which I don't know if is ideal or not. So, we have this. And I do like the potential of it. There's got to be a narrow way to widen it further. Add some more bulk. Maybe if I add like a kind of like a pseudo turret mount there on the side, but it'd be more like superstructure than anything else. But roughly resembles like a port of some kind or actual turret. And maybe I can adjust the scale to make it look like an extension, especially if it connects to the front of this hull here. That is the thought. So what would be a good piece for that? I know I like going to this piece there because it's got a nice curvature to it, and it actually would make pretty good thrusters. Those make decent wings, if I do say so myself. Sadly, we're not using these things for wings. Only thing I dislike is the lights, but part of the what helps get the scale of this thing down is the number of lights on it, I believe, and how small they seem relative to everything else. I think that's an important part to it. Also, if I can rotate where that metal frame seems to not be curved and more flush, that would be good too. Or I could do it like that and just make it doesn't appear at all. That might be ideal as well. So, question is now, do I adjust the scale or just straight up make it smaller? Would that be better? Yeah, if I leave it like that, it's going to cover over the blue lighting there, so that might be good. The only thing is that little gap there sticks out like a sore thumb, so I'll have to adjust that and fix that. And how does that seem? If that nose wasn't so wide and stick out so much, I might be okay with it. So I may have to extend the set axis on this front piece here until it connects. Can I do that in a way that it works? I'm trying to offset it a tiny bit so it covers over that nose vent without hopefully ruining everything. That's kind of what I would like, but it's not working out very well. Needless to say, and also I'm adjusting the scaling, which means this front piece needs to adjust as well for it. Which means I'm ruining everything, as far as I can tell. So there's that. Yeah, size for the yeah, if I can get that to adjust a bit more, maybe it'll work out well. Yeah, the only problem is the scaling is so slow. Probably because I'm scaling the wrong piece, maybe? Oh, now it's sticking out underneath. That scaling is not the answer. I need to try this another way. Because, yeah, everything's, like, sticking out down there. Now everything's getting ruined, damn it. Is it because of the offset? Maybe the offset's ruined it for me. There, that's a lot better. It's a little more flush. It's a little better. I think I'm happy with that. Oop, and I just quickly went and ruined it. I thought I hit the other piece. There we go. Try and get this back in place and see how everything looks after it's all said and done. Once I get... there we go. Okay, decent so far. I still say we need to add some more to it. And actually, let me just fix this cockpit piece, because that's why it makes it seem like it's so damn small. So, do we get like a blast shield? Does a blast shield of some kind actually fix this problem for me? It seems like a stupid idea, but it has the right curvature for it, so it could work. It could possibly work. I just need the right scale to make sure the textures don't seem so obvious. Is really what it comes down to. And it'll need to form into it in a nice fashion. So X scale narrows everything out. And again, needs to look flush rather than some kind of stupid like faceplate. That's interesting. I need to make sure the bottom piece isn't sticking out as much, so... oh, that's set axis, stupid me. This is interesting how it's kind of like meshing right into the frame. Although, there are still some lights, but there's not enough of them that you could almost get away with the fact that they're just standard like quarters of some sort. This is interesting. I don't know if I like that or not. It is an interesting design. Because I could cover over fully there. Actually. Or just sink it in to the point where Yeah, that is weird. That is almost like a mask of some kind. Mainly because I know it's like a cockpit front area. I am not sure. Now, do it one more time. And make this like a ridiculously small piece. And maybe cover over that front. Or that open space. Now this seems really stupid. But bear with me a moment. Bear with me. Whoops. It helps if I get the right damn axis there. Can this at least look like a suitable cover piece? I am not honestly certain, and it probably, yeah, part of the problem is it needs to be rotated in a way that it looks like it's flush. And now I have to offset it again as a result, damn it. So let's try this again. Oops, and damn it. I keep getting my axis is misplaced. So, now the question, do I flip it over or not? Of course it requires more scaling, but bear with me. This has potential. I think I like where this is going. We'll get it in there. And we'll have probably have to adjust scaling again, but this could almost fit like a glove if I ever figure this out. Yeah, scaling needs to adjust a little more. Now, how much can I adjust this scale without it poking out in a needless way? It has its flaws. I don't know if I like it sticking out or not, quite frankly. Yeah, that's just stupid, I think. It almost looks like a bad design there with the metal coming out. Part looks like it's a window or opening of some sort that shows the metal texture along that frame, and half it just looks like bad texture design. I don't think I want it. Now I gotta just rotate a little more just to get it flush in there some. Because really the edges are what's part of the reason that it's looking bad too. So I need to curve down. Yeah, there we go. That's actually looking a little bit better. I'm still not sure about that nose piece though, so can that be fixed at all? Oh my god, that almost looks like a single design almost, like, if mind you, it still needs to be a little bit wider here, but that metal frame almost looks like it flows with the pattern of the second piece. So we'll widen it, fix that without ruining too much, because again the metal's starting to overlap. I like that potential. That is interesting. Although it's this damn paranoia I know that's a single cockpit piece that makes it seem like it's a smaller fighter than it is, so I need some way to add some bulk. Could shells do that for me? Really, all I need is something on the back, just to add some more superstructure to it. To give it more scale, I think is what I need. So let's work on that. I don't think there's anything I can do with... No, this is probably the wrong piece. I need something different. I don't think I like this, because this is more like an endpoint, if it's anything I learned from using my pulverizer. Unless I do a clever way to add more to it. It's really all this is. I don't expect much from this piece. Oh, and it helps if I actually select the piece too to adjust it. Because I can move this piece back easily enough. But that's not going to give me what I want, is it? A lot of experimentation here, which is pretty much the name of the game with the ship design. Huh. You know, it's not allowing me to make a copy of it, which kind of stinks. Which is really annoying. So, what I'm going to do instead, if it's at all possible, is just... See, I'll just make a single piece there and then make multiples of it. So which means it has to connect to the center here. We'll make our four versions of it. Scale it down, move it, and see how that looks. Oop, helps if I use the right axis again. Let's see, can this do what I want? Is there any way I can use this? It almost feels like the way they currently are almost looks like they're clamps, which I don't think I like. I don't think I like that. How about if I rotate him sideways? Like what was the original plan. And of course I'll probably just mesh them together so it doesn't look like there's only two pieces, and see how it is. Just for now. Let's see if I can work with that. I could do something with that there. So maybe going with two pieces was the... Whoops. I want proportional scaling, damn it. And it didn't give me that. So having two pieces could give me what I want. Let me just stick it out properly and judge. Maybe if I rotate it. Like a steeper slope almost. And I keep getting the wrong damn axis again. I don't know why I keep doing that. Yeah, that could do. Alright, let's try that. We'll go with two pieces there. I'm not going with the quad, because otherwise it'll have weird texture glitching of some kind there with them on top of each other, which I would like to avoid. Get on this piece here. Just the scaling. Rotate however much I said to, which I can't really remember. And just sink it in. Because conveniently, it goes right where the end of that the piece in front of it finishes, so works out well. Just gotta scale it a bit more to fit the size I'm looking for. Now, how much longer do I make it? How much longer is good? Because we can make a ridiculous length, and the textures are going to be horrible for it. There's your wings for you. It's not bad it's not bad, because now, because of these wings, that cockpit seems like a proper nose, which is part of the problem I'm having. That looks like a nose rather than an actual main body. And just stretching out these wings to ludicrous levels is actually making it seem like it's on the right scale. Which means I have a lot more work to do if that's the case. This might be a while. And of course that's going to make it look narrow as hell too, as a part of the problem. So, let's see what we can figure out. I'm trying to see what would be good superstructure to put in there to kind of help fill out, because I don't want tons of rough spots. Of course, chances are I'm going to get a lot of rough spots because of this odd shape that I have going for me. And there doesn't seem to be much of a design that will complement that very well. So, let me just pick something and go with it for a bit. We'll try this piece again, because that should be a little simple. It should fit in relatively well, considering that is like an exact copy of the piece in front of it. How do I make this different though? Just having fun with this here. This looks like it's like adjustable thrusters. You just turn it down there, and now suddenly it's a Harrier jet. Alright, enough playing around. We got serious business to figure out. So, I don't doubt that it can fit here just fine, but how the hell can I make it flush with the... How can I make like a connection point that works with that other piece? Maybe if I rotate around and then scale it, it'll look a little bit different, yet connection points won't be too much of an issue. Is the rotation right? No, it's not 180 degrees. There you go. Yeah, there is a little bit of discrepancy there. It's the only problem with the scaling. So we'll have to shrink it into the other piece some, which kind of sucks because it means now the back piece, which is supposed to be the main superstructure, is actually smaller than the piece in front of it, which I'm not really fond of either. But how much longer do I want to make it? Because I could probably just add a single piece to the middle, and that will easily solve that. And I need to connect them together. Yeah, this may not be the best. Yeah, because I see... Well, why am I paranoid about that texture glitching? Because that's going to get covered over pretty soon. So let me just make it as flush as possible there. Get a piece that kind of fills out. Starts to fill out and connects to the wings. This piece could do it. It's got a proper curvature to it. Just gotta rotate everything around. Heck, he almost looks like a wing of some sort, with almost built-in thrusters from all those lights. So it could work that way. Now, let's see. Can this piece do something for us? We're gonna have to figure out our rotations here, because that's the one awkward thing I found. Trying to rotate these pieces, that when you rotate one direction, all the rotations start to change on you. I don't know if that's intended or just some kind of bug. It's fitting in decently though. Now we just need the scaling. We need proper scaling. And now, let's see. It could fill out really nicely though. It's not going to be perfect, so we're going to have to fill out some more as we go on. But if nothing else, that makes like a good turret mount, once I do get it figured out. Now I gotta just stop messing with the scaling here. I just want to kind of stretch out forward more without ruining it. Because yeah, it's because that piece is getting narrower there. It doesn't work out as well as I like. Not to mention now everything is kind of sticking out. Which I guess isn't a bad thing for here, because that's going to get connected. How does it look to this wing though? Seems like it's not centered almost. Yeah, it's not entirely centered, because it's either the top piece that starts sticking out or the bottom. It's not as bad on the bottom though. And it feels out decently, I like it. How do we advance next with it though? Because once we start getting the superstructure down, then we can add the bulk, I think. So we're getting close to what I want. Just need a little more at the tip to kind of start moving back. Would be a good piece for that. Or can I... Would a wing be... can I shape a wing in a way? No, it would be too narrow. That wouldn't work. All these wings are basically narrow as hell, so they wouldn't be able to have the thickness I like to kind of form in there well. So maybe that's not the best idea. It's gotta be something though. I got a lot of options available to me, I just don't know what.